to my channel. My name is Alina and today I'm going to show you how to DIY this trendy sleep dress from scratch. I think it looks super cute and sexy, and also it has this open back detail which I just love. Basically all you need is good fabric. It doesn't have to be silk, but something similar to silk is gonna work great. I know it might sound really complicated to make something from scratch by yourself. It was the same for me. It started actually with the thrift flips. I'm such a big fan of thrifting, but as you might know, sometimes the piece doesn't fit you good, or it's great material and great color, but it's not really fashionable, you know. So I started adding some new trendy details, resizing it, or sometimes even changing the piece completely, and it was turning out so good. So one day I just decided, why am I not trying to make something from scratch? So I made one dress, I made another one dress, and it was looking just so great. So I'm just hoping this video is gonna inspire you guys, you know, to make something from zero to hero. And let's start. So you're gonna need 2 yards of fabric, scissors, measuring tape, ruler, paper, something for notes, pen, pins, and tape. So every dress starts with a pattern. I never started tailoring anywhere, but the way I'm doing this, it might be really not correct, but it's working. So by now I made a couple pieces and they all fit me perfectly. So I'm just gonna try to explain to you what to do in my own weird way. So you have to measure your waist, your hips, and your chest. And also you have to decide what kind of lace do you want for your dress. So for example, if it's gonna be mini dress, it's gonna be one lace. If you wanna like a little bit longer dress, like midi or maxi, it's gonna be different lace. So it's up to you. You have to decide what kind of lace do you want. And also you have to measure the distance between your shoulders, from one shoulder to another shoulder. Also, I would recommend you to draw your dress just the way you can. As you can see, I don't know how to do it either, but it's gonna be easier later to make the pattern, like the bigger version of that. So just at least you can see how it looks already, like the smaller version, I mean. So yeah, my measurements are, for example, the waist is 28 inch, but because it's gonna be 2 patterns for your back and for your front, so it's kind of like the flat front and flat back, so you have to split it in 2. So for example, for front and for back, my waist is only 14 inches, and also my actual waist is 27 inches, but I wanted it to be like a little bit bigger than my actual waist to have like some space. And I did exactly the same for all my other measurements except of lace and the shoulders. So you have to do exactly the same. And you also have to measure the distance between your shoulders and your chest, between your chest and your waist, between your waist and your hips, and from hips till the end of the dress. So from my shoulders till my chest it's 5 inches. From my chest till my waist it's 12 inches. From my waist till my hips it's 10 inches. And the rest, like 29 and 5 inches, which is my length minus everything we just added now, that's gonna be the length from the hips till the end of the dress. And now you're gonna do exactly the same for your back, but just keep in mind that it's a little bit shorter. So it starts not from the shoulder level, but from the chest level. So it's gonna be 20 inches, not 17, the top of the back detail. And as you can see, I already made the bigger version of that. I just taped the paper together and put all our measurements on it and cut it. But as you can see, it's just the half of our measurements. So for example, if your chest has 20 inches on the real like pattern, it should be 10 inches. And for example, our waist, it's 14 inches, but here it's only 7 inches. So you kind of split in 2 again. And this is your front detail, and the smaller one is your back detail. So now you have to find the corner of your fabric and kind of to save it, like to get some triangle, not that big one, but to put it like inside, because that's gonna make this beautiful wavy detail on the chest of the dress. And also to flip the fabric in half after that, because as you remember, our patterns is just half of the front and the back detail. So in the end, after you will cut it, you will just get the full front and full back detail. And also I would recommend you to put something heavy on your fabric, so it's not gonna move much, because it's kind of like silk or something similar to silk, and it's moving a lot. So put something heavy, like I put this bunch of paper on top of it, and it worked for me. And as you can see, I didn't cut this open back detail yet. I'm just gonna do it later, but if for you it's more comfortable to do it at the beginning, you can do it. It's totally up to you. So we also will need a little piece of fabric which will copy the shape of the top of the back part of our dress. So we're gonna sew it together, and it's gonna hide the open edges. So basically I just took the our pattern of the back side of the dress, and I just cut off this back top part. And then I did exactly the same like we did before with the fabric. I just flipped it in half and cut it this little part. And as you can see, it's just totally, completely copying the shape. So I just pin it together. But keep in mind that you have to use the back side of the fabric. So we have the front side of the fabric and the back side of the fabric. So here now you have to use the back side to the back side. You pinning it together and then sewing it, and then you just can turn it like inside out and get the front side of the fabric. So you do exactly the same with the front part of the dress, and basically you're doing it just to hide the open edges and the stitches on the top of the dress, because that's the part where it should be like beautiful, wavy, and like look complete and good. And then you have to use regular stitch and sew it together, and then you just have to iron it. So now when you turn these parts inside out, you can see like the front side of your fabric, which means you're doing everything right. And the next step of making our dress is to pin together the front part of the dress and the back part of the dress. By the way, every time you start sewing, don't forget to use the back stitch. It keeps your fabric secure, it keeps everything together. Of course, if you don't want your dress, you know, to fall apart. And every time you finish in, do that too. It's like really important step. Like, just make sure you don't forget to do that. And then we have to fix the bottom of our dress. So just to hide these open edges, which look ugly, so basically you just have to flip the fabric in two for about a half an inch, and then you have to flip it again. So it's like you flip in first half an inch and then you flip in again for half an inch, and then you pin it all together, and after that you just sew in it at the line where you pinned it. And again, remember the back stitch at the beginning and in the end of your sewing. And basically we're almost done with our dress. Well, the main part of our dress is done. The only thing we have left to do is our straps. So for them, you just kind of have to find any pieces you have left of the fabric. And you're gonna cut two pieces of fabric for about 14 inch long and 1 inch, 1.5 inches wide. I would recommend you, if you're new at sewing, to cut it 1.5 inches because it's gonna be easier for you later just to make the straps. Personally, I didn't have that piece of fabric, you know, that long, so I just cut it 4 pieces for about 20 inch long, and then I'm gonna put them together to make it 2 pieces 40 inch long, which is more complicated. So if you just have the right piece of fabric, just do it 2 pieces 14 inch long, which is gonna be more easy, and just you will save your time. And yeah, you can skip this step if you had the right amount of fabric, so you have already 2 pieces, you don't have to do that. But I'm doing it now because I had 4 pieces. So yeah, as you can see, spending my time. And now this is the most important part, I guess. So how to actually make the straps. So you taking your piece and flipping it in half, and then you put like these edges inside, and then at the corner where you have your like edges, there the part you have to sew. So I put the pin there, so it's just easier to put it in my machine, you know. And then like in the process you are like always doing it, like you're flipping it in half and hiding the edges inside, and you have to do it all the way, all the process. I know it's kind of complicated, I guess it's the most complicated part of the dress, so it's just the final steps, and be patient with that. We're almost done, and soon you're gonna finally see the result. straps are ready, so we can finally adjust them to our dress. Yay, that's the moment we've been waiting for so long, right? And just watch carefully everything I'm doing and just repeat everything, like every step. And also I would recommend you to use the overlock on the all open edges and any edges you have inside your dress for just extra security, and it's just gonna make it look more like the shop version, like more professional version. But of course, if you have such option in your machine, for example, my machine doesn't have this option, so I'm just gonna use the zigzag stitch. Yeah, by the way, you can fake with the zigzag stitch the overlock. So the main point to use the top of zigzag as close as possible to the edge or on the same level with the edge. So it's gonna look like the overlock, and yeah, it's more complicated than the real overlock option if you have it in your machine, but it's totally worth it if you wanna make your piece look more professionally made. So I just would highly recommend you to not skip this step. And also our dress is finally ready, so we can just try it on and enjoy the result. For watching. Let me know in the comments below if you like this tutorial, and if you'd like to watch some similar tutorials, I would appreciate any feedback. Also, I'm gonna leave a link to my Instagram below, so you can find there more about my DIY projects, about thrifting in New York, maybe some outfit inspirations, and just about my life in New York in general. So bye guys, hope you are having a great day, and hope to see you soon on my channel again.